Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews. And we are back to talk box office. And this is another one of our prediction episodes where we're going to try to guess what will be in the top 10 of the box office, plus honorable mentions for the fall season, basically through the end of the year for the box office. It's going to be fun. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. Manda's here.
Hi, good to be back. I'm
Yay.
excited.
And David Rosen's here.
Hey, thank you so much for having me back.
Yes. So are you excited about this upcoming season? How you're feeling, Manda? What do you think?
I'm buzzing. Like I looked at the films on the list and I know they're kind of like spread out like in terms of release dates, but like
Yeah.
it's stacked. Like we have some indies, we have some horror flicks at the tail end of the year. Like I'm just really excited for everything that's coming out and some pretty
Yeah.
bomb sequels. So
The only thing that makes me kind of sad as far as the this box office prediction is I only have one original film
A
on
lot of
my
sequels.
list.
A lot of
All
sequels.
sequels and prequels or
Yeah.
it's crazy. I was writing it down like, wow, 2, 3, 2, 3. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's true.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm excited as always, but like there's a lot of movies on my list of predictions that aren't exactly things that I'm like super, super psyched
Yeah.
about. But that being said, it doesn't matter
Mhm.
because it'll be a full rest of the year of great movies, even if they
Yeah.
don't make
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even gotten a real like handle on coming out of the festivals out of TIFF or whatever. You would, Manda, because you went to TIFF, but of like even what is sort of the prestige, what's the, I guess, Conclave and Saturday Night, and I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us, Manda? What do you think are going to be the big?
I'm hoping that they turn up big at the box office. Anora was really good. It's one of my favorites of the year. Mikey Madison should like draw in some people, even though it's a Sean Baker film, it's an independent film. I'm banking on that to do extremely well at the box office. Saturday Night's another one. If you're a huge SNL fan, that is the one to go watch. I'm a diehard SNL fan, and that like just made me the happiest person after watching that. So there's a couple of bangers from there. I mean, The Wild Robot for animation purposes has been getting really great reviews out of TIFF too. So
I'm so excited.
There's a lot. There's a lot, and hopefully some films do get picked up for the rest of the year. So
What
we'll
would
see
you
where
say
that
is
goes.
the top best picture contender coming out of TIFF? Which is the one that won the one with Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Life of Chuck was
Okay.
phenomenal. I cried straight through. It's such a beautiful film about like just looking back at your own life and just connecting with people. It's about the end of the world too at the same time. So you just have those connections with everyone and you're going through your own memories. Is very reflective. But I thought it was just so well done and it's just the message there is that everything's going to be okay. You can live your life, you can go down your own path, make your own path, and just keep living, keep kicking. And it was just such a beautiful script. One of the like best Stephen King novellas too that I was just like, whoa, where'd this come from? It
Yeah.
was beautifully done, beautifully written, and I think Mike Flanagan's a gem. I've always loved him, but it's the fact that like I don't know best picture wise if that's going to work out for him because there's no distributor as of right now for The Life of Chuck, which is very unfortunate. So hopefully someone
Interesting.
picks that up for best picture run and then everyone can see just the how beautiful that film is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's dive in to our honorable mentions. So I have 4 honorable mentions that didn't make my top 10. I have Smile 2, Transformers 1, Nosferatu, and Red 1 in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So we'll see. What about you? David, did you have any honorable mentions?
So I've got 3. I also have Nosferatu, which I am super excited for, but it just doesn't seem like the kind of movie that's going to make that much money, you know?
Yeah.
Another movie that I'm super excited for, but I don't think will make that much money is Night Bitch, which we'll see. Maybe it'll connect somehow.
Did you like it, Manda?
Freaking love
it.
that. That was
Oh, I
so
can't
good.
wait.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can't wait. Can't wait. And then the other one, which is I think the big wild card of the rest of the year, is Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, which is
gonna bomb.
probably
There's
it's gonna bomb so bad, but
So optimistic.
who knows? Who the hell knows? So
Listen, the theater near me, the IMAX theater for the pre-screening, it is full. I tried to get a ticket. It is completely sold out, 400 seats in that one theater. So you never
they're
know.
having the Wild Robot screening the same night as
yeah,
that
here
IMAX
too.
thing, and I'm just like, well, I'm not I'm not missing the Wild
Damn.
Robot. So yeah, but but Manda, what do you have as do you have any honorable mentions?
I have 3. I also have Red One. I think that's just going to be a really entertaining flick for people, and yeah, it could do well. I have Saturday Night because I need people to go watch it. Like I will personally buy out an entire theater and probably won't. But at the same time, like I want
So
people to go
excited.
see it. It's electric, that movie. And Honora, like I said before, I think the indies have a power play here is through word of mouth. And if people want something original and something different, then those are the 2 that I would probably pick as like they would kind of sneak in the top 10.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, yeah.
Are you a fan of Rachel's reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a patron. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies. Right. Well, my number 10, and I did try to get comps for some of these, but there were 2 I just had no, so I just had to take a shot in the dark. But for number 10, I have the Lord of the Rings, the War of Rimmerin, whatever. It is anime, which don't tend to, do super great in the US box office, but it is Lord of the Rings, which do tend to do really, really great. And I thought the trailer was really good for this. I love anime, so it's an easy sell for me, but I don't know. I was just like, wow, this looks great. And so it's a tough one, I think, to predict. But
the thing keeping that off
Yeah.
of my list is the fact that when I saw it show up on the list of movies coming out this year, I could have swore that was just like a Netflix series or something.
Same.
Like, so
Yeah.
there's no awareness of this being a movie, I don't think.
Yeah, they definitely need to bump it up for sure if it does. And it is a crowded season right in December when it's coming out. I don't know if it's on Christmas or around Christmas that it's coming out, but yeah, that's definitely like, and what do you compare it to? You can't really compare it to any of the Lord of the Rings because it's a totally different thing. But
interesting.
So I don't know. But what do you have at 10, David?
So I always like to bet on horror, but there's really only one horror movie I think has a chance of cracking the top 10, and that is Smile 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I really find it hard to gauge this one because I feel like as much as I actually really liked the first Smile, I thought it was surprising it got a sequel, and I feel like a lot of people act like they don't like it. But obviously it was big enough that they made a sequel, and I think that trailer, they're really pushing it hard. And I is just looking at some of the other horror movies. I mean, not to like trample on any of you guys' list, but like Speak No Evil, Terrifier 3, Heretic, Nosferatu, which we already mentioned. I don't think any of those have a chance. No. And there's always at least one horror movie on the top 10. So
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's true that Smile because none of those are in a part of a franchise. Like if there was a Conjuring movie or something like that, then I'd be more. But yeah, it's a good pick. It's a good pick, especially around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Manda? What do you have at 10?
I do have Terrifier 3 at the 10th spot, and that's because I think people went searching for the first and second one, and the second one did have a wider release than the first one. Obviously, the first one I think was on Shudder exclusively. And then they had it in theaters for a bit, and now they have a bigger distributor for Terrifier 3, and I think it'll stay longer in theaters. So this one has the power of word of mouth, but I completely agree with like what David said, is like, if anything out of here, it's obviously Smile 2 because it is a sequel and it did really well. I really liked the first one too, and people completely trashed it. But yeah, I think Terrifier 3, Art the Clown on like social media, the 14-year-olds are definitely gonna go check that one out, even though they're not allowed to watch it. So I think that'll like round out like the 10. I have a feeling.
This will be the one Christmas movie this year I will not be seeing.
Yeah, right. Well, I just want to say I hope Terrifier 3 does well. I actually haven't seen the first two movies, but we're doing a live show on October 12th at Downtown Cinemas here in Las Vegas. So hopefully people really are looking forward to this movie. I have no idea what to expect.
Because the second one made 15.7 million on a 250K budget.
Yeah.
So that was nuts. Very profitable.
Huge. Yeah.
Crazy
very
numbers.
Profitable. Okay, well, my number 9 is Where I Have the Wild Robot. Ooh. And it's tough to predict how well this will do because we just don't have that many original films, period, but also original animated films. I went off of Migration last year, which didn't have nearly like the buzz of the people talking about it, but it's Illumination. That made $172 million domestic because they're amazing. That studio's incredible in making money. But I mean, they would be thrilled if the Wild Robot made $172 million domestic. But I hope, because it looks so good and I'm so excited for it. But yeah, I have it at 9. What about you, David? What do you have at 9?
My number 9 is Gladiator 2. I feel like Ridley Scott, he's always kind of a wild card because his movies, they either hit big or they just simply don't whatsoever.
And it's been a long time since they hit big.
Yes, that is absolutely right.
It's been a long time.
By all means, it seems like this is his biggest, though, in a long time. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be something.
Was that the last hit he had?
Might be. Maybe.
Yeah, because Covenant didn't do well, and that was right after. So yeah. Oh man, that was a long time ago.
I mean, I guess Gucci did okay. That's a Gucci.
Yeah,
we don't talk about.
This has a great cast, so I mean, they should hopefully draw people out. So
it is I could not think of a good comp for Gladiator. I have it at 8. I could not think of a good comp for Gladiator. I was like, I guess Blade Runner 2049. I was just trying to think of something. I was just trying to think of something that's like a long-awaited sequel with a fan base, and obviously they're different genres, but there's certainly no like swords and sandals films to compare it to. That's been successful. So
it's true.
It's been a long time since one of those has been a hit.
Yeah.
But let's see. What do you have at 9, Manda?
I actually have Beetlejuice 2. Because I feel like the second kick around October, if it stays in theaters for that long, like I think there's going to be like a second wave for Beetlejuice. And I feel like a lot of people have watched the first one for the first time ahead of Beetlejuice 2, especially like me. I did it. So like I'm basing it off of myself.
I'd seen it before, but it's been a while.
But like a lot of newbies are like, what's this about? Because they see Jenna Ortega and they're like, oh my God, I have to be a massive fan of Jenna Ortega. I have to support. So like it's that type of thing. So
I have it higher because it's already made $187 million domestic.
I have it higher too.
That's a lot. Okay. That's a lot. And I agree with you. It could totally have a second win.
I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah. So
nice.
So I already said my 8 is Gladiator. I Gladiator 2. It looks really good, and I like the first one, but I don't know. I just feel like the first one it's one of those. It's kind of like The Notebook in a weird way. Nobody would ever think to compare those two, but just in the sense that like yes, it did super well, but it doesn't really have a hive around it. You know what I mean? Of like people that like love it, and I don't know if it really does. And it certainly doesn't have a $300 million budget hive around it. These idiots. But
give Ridley Scott all the money. Oh,
just give it. He'll get mad if you don't. You might as well just give in to him first. Is it?
But yeah, I mean, I have it at 8. So hopefully, I hope it's good. Denzel. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So excited for him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have this higher on my list. So I'm being very optimistic for Ridley. Very optimistic. So
Nice.
David, what do you have at 8?
Number 8 is Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Mhm.
These movies make a lot of money,
Yeah, they do.
and I think they're like a guilty pleasure for me because of Jim Carrey. I think he's so funny as Dr. Robotnik, and now we get him in 2 roles, so that is very exciting. Plus, Keanu Reeves joins the cast, so I think
he's in there. I didn't know who was in the cast.
Yeah, he's a voice of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it will be yet another hit for them. And I think they just had a show too, right? I never watched the show spinoffs. So, but yeah, so hopefully it's something.
I have it shockingly high.
Nice.
I think it might be a little bullish on it. I don't know.
Same. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it together.
What do you have at 8, Manda?
I actually have Moana 2 at 8. I feel like it's a good placement considering that no one really asked for it, but at the same time, it's like, why are we making a sequel to Moana 2? I thought it was going to be on Disney Plus, where they were doing like it was a series or a TV movie. I don't remember what they were doing. So that's going to be interesting to see that flip into theatrical. I'm iffy on it, but it could make bank just because it is a sequel and people really love Moana and Maui and the characters in that film. So
yeah. So my number 7 is where I have Venom 3 or whatever it's called.
Me too. Venom: The Last Dance.
I have actually enjoyed these Venom movies. They don't take themselves super seriously. They have a sense of humor. That's why I was really bummed by this recent trailer for this movie, because they're like trying to make like it's Endgame, like that we have all this like heart and soul and epic, and like that is not this franchise at all for me. Like I go to have a laugh. Like I do not go to see a Venom movie for like big scale action and drama and playing Starboy and David Bowie. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand. So I think this one might actually be really terrible. Yeah. But I don't know. They both made a lot of money. So
yeah. Plus, with it supposedly being the last one, I mean, fans of this franchise will, probably show up. But yeah, I actually didn't like the second one at all. So I'm not exactly looking forward to this. But like I said, I have it at 7 as well, and I think it's going to do pretty well.
I just thought it was funny. And it was short.
I love it.
But this one, I don't know. This trailer, I'm going in skeptical, but we'll see. What do you have? See, now I've lost our place. So
7
for Manda.
Yeah. What do you have at 7, Manda?
I have Smile 2 at 7. Okay. Just everything that we talked about before. Yeah. It's a sequel. It's a horror sequel. The placement's really good. The release date's great. I think it'll do well. That was also word of mouth that people just got excited, and the marketing. Oh my God. The marketing's fantastic for that movie. Yeah. So I think it'll get butts in seats for sure.
I'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Factor Meals. Fall is here, and that means most of us are busier than ever before. School is back up, lots of activities are happening, and we need a way to make our lives easier and healthier. That's where Factor Meals comes in. Cooler days are here. Fuel up for these days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for all your fall activities thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this month with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up.
Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/Hallmarkies50 and use code Hallmarkies50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code Hallmarkies50 at factormeals.com/Hallmarkies50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. I have at 6 is where I have Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Nice.
You just said it 3 times.
I said it 3 times.
Where is he? Michael.
Yeah, it's been huge, very successful. So way to go.
Yeah.
I had enough fun with it. It's not like amazing, but it was okay. What do you have at 6, David?
I've got The Wild Robot at 6.
Me too.
The only reason I don't have it higher is because I'm worried it might be one of those things that film critics love and general audiences just don't show up for.
If it gets to 6, they will be clicking their heels. I mean,
seriously.
Great.
It looks great. I mean, as far as animated
so
movies
good.
go, it looks like the best one of the season for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm really excited for it. What do you have at 6, Manda?
I also have The Wild Robot.
You're both high. Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was mixed out of TIFF. I think people were blowing it out of proportion, like it was hyperbole, though some reactions to it.
Uh-huh.
But my cousins read the books. So I think it's a book
I think
adaptation.
it has 100%, I think, on
it's
Rotten
sitting
Tomatoes.
there.
Pretty sure.
So I think
so not very mixed.
Kids. Well, yeah. I mean, it's interesting what came out of TIFF, and then it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Amazing.
But I think book fans, book lovers, are gonna probably go too. So see how it does.
28 reviews logged, 100% still.
Wow.
I tell you, the
love
movie
it.
that if IFC decides to like put any money behind it, they have Ghostlight right now still has 100% and it has almost 100 reviews. That's really rare.
Wow.
Damn.
If they want to do a campaign for that, there could be something there, but
Possibly,
anyway.
yeah.
All right. This is, I don't know. I might just, because I'm so not looking forward to it, I might have this too low. I have Mufasa at 5. And my thought behind this is that so far, all of these live action remakes have been a one shot in the pan things. Like whenever they've tried to do any kind of sequel or follow up, they've not done well. Something like Maleficent made tons of money. Maleficent 2, not much. And Maleficent 2 made $113 million domestic. Alice in Wonderland made $1 billion. The sequel, not much. And obviously, like, neither of those are Lion King. I get that, but I don't know. I just don't think it'll do as well as people think it will do. It's a prequel. It doesn't have any of the songs that we like know and love. It doesn't have like those things that make you want to go and see one of these movies. And at least everybody I know didn't really like just because something made a lot of money doesn't mean that people liked it. And so I don't know. It was a tough one to rank, but I do have it at 5. So
It's interesting. I don't even have it on my list. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
So
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know I don't think it's going to do well. I don't know. Because a lot of people, like, it doesn't hold up the first one from what people, like, the way people talk about it. So I don't know how they're going to do with
Spoiler
Mufasa.
alert, but your listeners are going to think I'm nuts by the end of this conversation.
Whoa, I already know where you placed it.
What do you have at 5?
So my number 5 is Beetlejuice, which, like we talked about, I mean, I think it might have some serious legs as long as they don't put it on streaming like next week.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right, Manda, what's your 5?
I have Gladiator 2 in 5th spot.
Nice.
I do think that Megan Thee Stallion being in the conversation trying to do another Pepsi ad for Gladiator would be really a push for a different audience as well, like the younger demographic, to get them to watch Gladiator 2. I think if they really push Paul Mescal front and center as like the new it boy, that could possibly work. But then you have like Denzel and Pedro Pascal, who already has like an amazing fan base. And I do think that it's going to do extremely well if they know how to market this movie properly, like they did with the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Well, my number 4, I have Sonic 3 is where I have it. I mean, the last one made 190 million domestic in 2022.
Yeah, they love that.
Like right in when there was a we're still dealing with COVID and everything, and so I just can't imagine that it's not going to make more than that, and that would put it in the top. If it makes more than 190 million, it's going to be in the top. So, and it looks fun, and so yeah, I think so. But what do you have that for, David?
I've got Joker Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
Love it or hate it. The first one made a lot of money, and Joaquin Phoenix won his Oscar. This one has Lady Gaga in it. I have a feeling this whole thing is just going to be a big troll job, but that is kind of why I'm looking forward to it. So.
It is a musical, by the way.
Yes, it absolutely is.
It's not, though, guys. It's not a musical at all. They explained it specifically that it is a musical, but they still want us to believe that it's not going to be.
That it's not a musical.
Sometimes they just have to express themselves with songs. So yeah.
I was like, I woke up that morning and I read that tweet and I'm like, but is she okay? Like, how did that happen? I'm like, your background is musical theater.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Gaga, you know better than this.
What are you doing? Like, crazy.
Well, what do you have it for, Manda?
I have Venom: The Last Dance. It's number 4. I'm banking on it. It's the last one. They're gonna go all out. They had a symbiote horse. They had a Venom horse. There's no way that people aren't gonna be drawn in by that. But I do think that everyone ultimately wants to see where Tom Hardy lands with Venom, especially as it ties in with the MCU. If we're going to get a different Eddie Brock, if he's going to still be Eddie Brock, and like see where the universe goes that way, where the symbiote goes, we have no idea. But I do think that everyone has really loved the other two, whether they, like the first one better than the second one. I really do think, because it's the end, it's going to be up there for sure.
It's going to be interesting. Well, I have at number 3 is where I have Joker, part 2. Yeah, it's hard to not have it high. I mean, the first one made so much money, and this arguably has a wider appeal than that, I think, with Gaga and music, and it's more interesting to me at least. So, and it just seems kind of creative. So, what do you have at 3, David?
3 is Wicked for me, which I'm not exactly the target audience on that one, but I think that it will, I think people are excited for it.
Yeah. Wicked Part 1, even though they're hiding
that even,
which makes no sense to me.
Even more than the musical part of it. They're hiding that it's Part 1. Yeah.
Crazy.
They did. There was a trailer, or someone did kind of like say that there was going to be a Part 2 release. They released a trailer for it. They notified everybody that it was a Part 2. So they did do that.
Part 1. Yeah. I mean, they've been hiding it like on the posters and on the trailer and stuff. And you're just like, come on. They finally did put out, a statement, because they moved to the Part 2 up a week. So that's where they put out that tweet of like, oh, Part 2. And I was like, darn. Means they're not. I wish they weren't doing that. But anyway.
I feel like if there's such a thing as Hollywood, quote unquote, I feel like Hollywood is banking on Wicked doing really, really well.
Yeah.
They are, just to gauge what they're going to do with musicals here on out.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true. What do you have at 3, Manda?
I have Sonic 3. at 3.
Nice.
I'm very optimistic about that one.
Yeah.
I loved all of them. I think they're so well done. Ben Schwartz is a gem, and like obviously Jim Carrey, as we mentioned, is fantastic as Robotnik. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
gonna do well.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Jennifer Snow and her new book, All Signs Point to Malibu. This delightful and steamy new rom-com asks the question, what happens when the mystical convinces you to break up your ex's wedding? Think My Best Friend's Wedding, but woo! Haley Harris is a successful life coach that has visions of the future. When one of her visions predicts a not-so-happy ending for her ex Liam and his brand new fiance, Haley sees it as a sign and plans to launch Operation Breakup. But before she has a chance, Liam's sexy, irritating best man starts messing with her plans. Will she push forward to sabotage the wedding, or will a speculative twist change fate forever? You can buy All Signs Point to Malibu this week at your favorite bookstore, or use the affiliate link below and find out more about Jennifer at jennifersnowauthor.com. That's jennifersnowauthor.com.
Yeah.
Well, my number 2, I actually is where I have Moana 2. I don't think most people have any idea that it was originally a series, all this backstory. I don't think anybody, I think they just was like, oh, look, there's a sequel to Moana. My kids watched that first movie 5 million times. Let's go see the second one. I mean, Moana has never left the top 10 of Disney Plus since it originated. Like it's incredibly popular, and I mean, this thing will have to stink and get like the worst reviews. If they're even passable, everybody's gonna go see it. Everyone's gonna take all their whole family. It's gonna be the Thanksgiving movie everyone goes to. I think it's gonna make a ton of money, even if it's just kind of
True.
Yep.
I really do.
I agree. The exact thing that you just said is what I was thinking with it, that like this is the movie that every kid watches like 1,000 times over since Disney Plus became a thing. So yeah, it's my number 2 as well.
I mean, for most of the history of Disney Plus, it's like been close to the top, if not the top movie watched. I mean, Moana is really popular.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really big. But what do you have, David, for number 2?
It is also Moana.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Manda, what do you have?
I have Wicked Part 1 in second spot. I'm very optimistic about that one. I think Ariana Grande has a massive, massive fan base that's going to get them there. And it's right before American Thanksgiving. It's that weekend for sorry. Yeah, I'm Canadian. I'm like, is it American Thanksgiving that weekend? Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, I do think it's gonna do extremely well. And the trailers look great. I'm excited. You have the theater kids going to watch it, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna be dressed up to go see it too. So that's second spot for sure.
I always think of on How I Met Your Mother, Barney would always do the Canadian jokes about Robin. And he'd be like, you have Canadian Thanksgiving? What do you even have to be thankful for?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Got lost track. Okay. So my top pick is where I have Wicked. Is Wicked Part 1, whatever.
Nice.
I just feel like this could get Barbie energy. If it seems like the marketing has been received pretty well. They're like hiding it that it's a musical, which seems to unfortunately be a successful strategy these days. And how good Wonka did, things like that. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think it'll make a lot. I just think it'll tap into that kind of Barbie energy and make a lot of money.
Let's hope so.
I have it at number 1.
Fair enough.
David, what do you have at 1?
I've got Mufasa, the Lion King.
It really could be.
I think, us critics and podcasters and all that, we love to say how much we hated the Lion King, the live action quote unquote remake, but everybody saw it and kids love that crap. And I think even for like those of us with, more refined taste, so to speak. I mean, it is Barry Jenkins, and, Aaron Pierre just had such an incredible breakout with Rebel Ridge and Donald Glover, Mads Mikkelsen. It's got a great voice cast.
I just wonder if you don't have Hakuna Matata, you don't have Circle of Life, you don't have like all that stuff that gets people to go.
Yeah.
Is it going to have that same draw?
It's so hard to say. It really
really
is,
hard. Yeah, it could be though. Absolutely.
It could also help that there's less to compare it to, because I know a lot of people like really made fun of The Lion King because of like trying to compare the animated scenes with the live action scenes and how much less expressive they are and stuff.
Yeah.
Here you can craft an entire story around it being live action ish. So I don't know. I think it's going to be number one.
All right, Manda, what do you have number one?
My DC heart is gonna stick with Joker Folie à Deux. I think it's gonna be a repeat of the box office of last time. I really do think so. Although Deadpool and Wolverine really holds the torch right now for that, I can see it happening. I mean, Lady Gaga, big draw, obviously. People want to see if she's getting better as an actor, and I do think that people love Joaquin as the Joker. So I'm banking on it. I'm probably wrong, but I'm banking on it. So
I think it's possible. I really
do. Is. Yeah.
You never know. So I love your pick though as Mufasa at the same time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Let us know. Oh, I asked on Twitter. Let me check that real quick. Sorry.
While you're checking that, I'll plug October 3rd, Joker Folie à Deux live show in Las Vegas. Everybody come on out.
Do it. Go. I wish I could fly out.
I know.
Yeah, you guys got to come sometime.
That would be really fun. Okay, so I asked on Twitter, and Rachel Master says, I think Wicked is going to do really well. DigiKate says that she thinks I'm meaning only up till Thanksgiving, so that's what hers are. It's just Beetlejuice, Transformers 1, Wild Robot, Joker 2, Venom 3. Kevin the Critic says, I'm guessing Wicked will be Ryan says, I'm praying Wicked is fantastic and does well. Would really love to see the Wild Robot blow box office predictions away. I don't have much faith in Moana 2, but I'm sure it'll do crazy numbers. And then Gavin Evans says, Moana 2, Venom the Last Dance, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Beetlejuice, and the Wild Robot.
Could you imagine if Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was the number one movie at the box office? That'd be amazing.
You know what? I won't put it past them. At this point, I won't. That'd be great.
Yeah. So there we go. That is what's going on with our box office predictions. And this was so much fun. Thank you to both of you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I know there's so much going on right now, but I really do appreciate it. And so, David, where can people follow you?
Follow me on social media at Piecing Pod, and check the dates for all of the live shows that we're doing here in Las Vegas at piecingpod.com.
Very good. And Manda?
Yeah, you guys can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can check out my website, candidxcinema.com, and my YouTube, Candid Cinema.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure that you, if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. We sure appreciate that. And check out the Patreon group and the merch store. And thanks to both of you. And we'll talk to y'all later.